Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone. Oh, wait, you go ahead,
No worries.
Jay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to SGDA Summit 2025. We're with Showcase, the Student Game Showcase, Section C. We're here with OpOlearner and Kluski Express. I'm Jason again, as
Hello.
you all well know. And Megna, if you'd like to introduce yourself and introduce our team behind OpOlearner and Kluski Express here.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, my
Hello,
name
I'm
is.
Megna. I'll be taking over some of the showcase sections today. I'm the marketing lead for Student Game Developers Alliance. And let's start off with the showcase section. Would you like to introduce yourself, Ben?
Of course, my name is Benjamin. I am 21 years old actually, since um, about like uh, the 1st of June actually, so quite recently. And the project, or rather projects I will be showing off today are Kluski Express and OpOlearner, which are two applications, or well, one is a game, one is an edutainment title. Um, Both are connected with a project I'm currently developing and working on as sort of my little, let's call it, student idea. It's a website about the local culture and events, history, or over similar topics, created with English speaking students and older people in mind. And so the things I will showcase today will reflect that local culture, or the Polish language, let's say.
Awesome. Do you want to start streaming your games?
Of course, give me 1 second. I'll make it the whole screen so that will be easier. Perfect. Yeah. So this is the website where I will showcase the first of my games. They're both available on itch.io. One will be soon published in an early form. The other one is already playable via the HTML kind of built-in player. And so let me showcase the game. I'll start with Kluski Express, which is sort of a sequel to well, a spin-off of a series that that is called Dumpling Express, that was created by me many years ago, back in my early, let's call it Scratch games era. And I've developed it since, had some releases on Newgrounds. I later compiled them and published them together on itch.io. And this is actually sort of a Game Boy demake of the series. Yeah, let me start it up. I'm not sure if you will be able to hear the audio, but the audio in this game is quite important. It is a variation of a Polish tune called Poszła Karolinka do Gogolina, which is used in it sort of in a way similar to how Korobieniki, I think, was used in Tetris.
Oh,
So
okay. Got it.
let me start the game.
Okay, audio
Can
is
you hear
coming
the
through.
audio? Okay. And the better you play, the better the audio will sound. Basically, some of the Game Boy synth will not be hearable once you kind of once your gameplay gets more and more kind of worse and worse time, let's say.
Hmm. Gotcha. How did the idea come about for
Well,
Kluski
Kluski
Express?
is a
Kluski,
sort
sorry.
of a Polish dish. It's sort of like, or rather, Silesian, because we're in the Silesia region of Poland. Silesian dish. It's usually served with meat and some sauce. It's basically like Polish noodles in the form of like these orb-like, bigger chunks, let's say. And it's quite nice. It's a thing that many kind of people coming in from different countries might be willing to try out. And yeah, it's the idea came up to me because I was really interested in homebrew development for a while now, and I've always enjoyed kind of the black and white Gameboy games, and the idea was to try and see if a clicker, because this game is basically like click on the most the highest amount of plates as you can in 30 seconds or 60 seconds, etc. So the idea turned out to be harder than I expected, and if you can kind of if I can show, what's interesting is that through development I've realized that the only way to make Kluski on the plates look as they should and work kind of moving in the same direction as those plates was to actually in code it's actually done in a bit of a funny way. It replaces the plate with a projectile of the plate with Kluski on top. So it's a bit of a workaround to make it happen, and also it's why I first had the idea of making the plates speed up between all of the clicks. The problem is, while it would still look okay on most emulators and in the browser, the Game Boy has a big problem with ghosting, so developing for the original hardware in mind, I've decided to just keep them all at the same speed, not to cause any issues to potentially worse units that would have bigger problems with their kind of LCDs. And here's OpOlearner, which is sort of a test engine that I'm still developing. It's made in a way which is to make it as simple in use as possible for the interested students, because that's who I've had developed it in mind, the early kind of current version. And yeah, let me showcase it. I hope you will be able to see it. Can you see it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's all still in this very early mode, at least the main menu. I will soon replace it all with graphical buttons. It was basically made like this to kind of showcase the different screens without having to change them in the back kind of, let's say, engine. Yeah. So this is the editor, where you can pretty much add any question you like and any answer really quickly without creating any accounts, because many types of this software usually requires some subscription or account or something. Here it's all hosted either on the kind of player's hard drive or their still hard drive, but the browser cookies, and you can kind of put in or maybe not cookies, one of the different APIs that browsers use. Okay, so let's, for example, have it the Polish word for hedgehog, and I will want to reply with hedgehog to that. And let me save it as test 2. Save. Let's start. And, I can just add infinite points because there's only one question and I know its answer. But if I were to, let me escape it, to a different game mode, this is called the game mode in the game, and if I put in test 2, it will load the same question and answer. I can actually delete the question quite easily. I can add it, or I can replace an existing question with whatever I put in if I click on it after I put in the words. So test.
So it's a much more optimized like learning system versus, I think, typically like what I was used to when I was trying to learn like different languages was like Anki cards, but for that you have to like repeatedly load in things entire
Yeah,
like slots of cards. But this is like a lot more optimized, in which you can customize it and also apply it to different modes too.
yeah. And as you can see, this is actually the mascot of the website made by my great friend Croissant, who's from the UK. And as you can see, it's basically sort of inspired by games like Mario Teaches Typing and a little bit Flappy Bird. It's a mode where the more correct answers you put in, the longer the little link guy, because the website the game will be hosted on is called OpOlearner PL, the project I've
Mhm.
mentioned previously. It's the titular Oppo link, where Opole is the name of the city that my university and the website is kind of located. Yeah, and if I put in a second, yeah, the more points you get, the longer the little guy will fly. There's also a TV show mode,
Oh,
which it still has errors in it, but it will be eventually um, a bit better. And also will have voice acting, which I am working on currently. Um, yeah, and here you have options like skip, friend, which will just give the answer, letters, which will give the amount, and you have 3 lives. So if you put the wrong thing 3 times, there will be a sad message from the uh, character, as you can see.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
So how
There's
is
also a
oh, sorry, go ahead.
test 2. There's a flashcard mode, which you can kind of go through. Oh yeah. Answers. Yeah. And it will basically show different parts of the flashcard, or this or both of them at the same time, or you can revise things. Yeah,
So
now I can answer the question.
yeah, sorry about that. I was like, I was getting really excited. But how did OpOlearner kind of change over time from when you first started till now?
Basically, originally it was meant to be sort of let's and I also didn't show this part. There's actually one built-in preset pack of words which are Polish and English animal names. So if I would quickly load, it shows the password that you have to later put in as you save it, and you have uh, uh, yeah, etc. Mm, yeah, the idea developed in a way where originally it was meant to be sort of like the so-called hangman games, etc. And with time, I later developed it further into an educational title. Originally, it was also before I kind of worked on it to this extent where you'd have all of the tests. I first devised it using actually um, sort of a quick idea I came up with of creating an easier to use than most available flashcard tool, because of I need to revise some things for my studies, and that was basically a sort of a, well, if I could use one, then maybe more people would be interested in that approach. And so yeah, that's how the idea started. I've developed it with the website in mind, but I'm also planning to add more packs, like for example math packs or different languages, so people who aren't necessarily learning Polish from English or English from Polish would also be able to really use it. And there will be, if you remember my previous year's title Virtugin, there will actually be a little nod to the game eventually in it, in an additional mini game which will be based on this website's mascot.
Um, oh, we'll have to stream that once that gets put in.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I
And
think we're almost coming up at time. Jason, how we're doing?
Yeah, I think we have I think at this point, we wanted to ask you if you have had anything to shout out.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, I
more.
would like
Mhm.
to shout out my university, my friends, my loved ones, my family, my dad, who's currently in the hospital, actually.
Mm.
I will also be happy to shout out my great friends from India who I've been recently uh, kind of really close with through university projects. So,
Mhm.
uh, Neve, Sidika, um, Swara, and Kashish.
Mm.
And also, I would like to shout out all of the Oppo Listen by OpOlink PL team, which is our radio broadcast we are doing through the university radio in English with international guests for our international listeners. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. And you can check out both of these games on the SGDAH.io. And
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Thank you for showcasing your game. It's really, really cool to see you back again. Ben is now a longtime SGDA stream participant. But up
Yeah, and
next,
I'd
we are
love to
headed.
be back soon.
Yeah. Cool, cool. All right. Up next is Drive Talk. So we'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.